Dragon Ball Z card strategy here with actually a first, so far as I know. My friend Angelo is going to be using Orange Retribution Gohan. That is future Gohan. We decided to go ahead and do a little bit of play with the preview that was released here pretty recently. It's going to be Orange Retribution build. As far as I know, he told me that it is very similar to his Orange Retribution Trunks build. So it's not exactly fully customized for Gohan. There are also a handful of proxies being used because it was kind of short notice and we had a hard time squeezing together a bunch of the named cards needed. Okay, so Angelo did choose to go second. He's going to go to John. John's going to he's going to be running the Red Ascension Broly. Is no slouch, as you know. But there's sort of an angle we realize where Gohan fits in the great scheme of things. Gohan's powers cancel out other MP powers. Fantastic. Very doable. What all that means is, for Gohan, he is going to actually be the most effective here. As you can tell, you'll see the series of matches to come, that he seems to be most effective against anything post-Vengeance, any MPs versus any MPs post-Vengeance. Oh, also, by the way, Angelo throws 2 drills into play. That's Possession Drill and Burning Aura Drill. And he's going to go ahead and grab hold on to a drill for the purposes of using Possession Drill, which has something to discard in order to get more cards next combat. So it is John's turn currently. Like we said, he's going to be the hardest counter against some of those MPs, Vengeance and Forward. He was meant to balance the meta, and it's a breath of fresh air. You'll see a little bit about that here. John doesn't like what he sees. He's going to go ahead and end his turn, rejuvenate. He goes back over to Angelo. Angelo's going to go ahead and grab. There we go. Nice stuff. He's got an energy block in play, which ain't too bad. This particular Broly build does incorporate a few of the energy attacks, especially newer set stuff. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and power up Gohan just a little bit. My guess is that with this particular card assortment, he is not going to enter combat, considering he's only holding the 3 cards. So he's probably going to pass. My guess is he might hold on to the drill or rejuvenate either the energy attack or the block. Okay, he's going to go to end his turn. Orange refocus goes to the bottom of his deck as part of rejuvenation. John draws his 3, begins his turn. Looks like he's going to be holding, looks like he's got 2 energy blocks. Would appear to be 2 physical blocks. John could make something happen here. He could open up with Gohan's power as his first action or as his second action after... Oh, I guess he's not going to do it. Okay, hush my mouth. He's going to go ahead and pass or rejuvenate one of his red physical blocks. And it's going to go back over to Ange. He's going to draw 3. Not too terribly bad. Looks like he's got some launcher action. Some Enrage Blast could potentially make things very interesting. He likes it enough to go on in. Combat begins. John draws his 3 in response. Looks like he's got plenty of anger gain potential in his hand. Looks like a pair of energy blocks and a pair of physical attacks. However, Edge does the powerful thing. Go ahead and opens up with Gohan's level 1 power. It's a 2 life card physical. And remember, Broly's power box is now blank. It's as if it doesn't exist. It's a very tiny hit for such a gigantic effect. Okay, John's going to go ahead and weigh it out. We're going to see, like we said, a lot of times one would want to open up with the Mastery because it gives you 2 actions right off the bat. Though, I'm not entirely sure. I hate to say it, I'm not entirely set as far as how to balance that out, about how to effectively use the Red Ascension Mastery in combat.
Sure, there's some trick to it.
Yeah. Like I said, John is not a player that finds himself getting rushed too terribly often. He weighs out his options, works out if he moves ahead. Not a bad strategy in this slice. I hate to say it, I do have that problem. I allow myself to get rushed by certain opponents. John's going to go ahead and throw Furious Lunge. And it does connect. It hits Angelo for 4 stages and raises John's anger 2 levels. He probably should have went with the Mastery and then followed by the Furious Lunge. Because I think that might have been a good way to get 3 anger out of a scenario. Okay. Angelo uses Possession Drill. He draws 2 cards. Remember, he was holding on to another drill during this one, and he does discard the other drill. Investigating Drill. Okay, so Angelo got some good meaty cards for doing what he needs to do. John does now have a non-stoppable by physical combat cards. Oh, he's going to open up with the Mastery. It is red styled. It's going to raise his anger and cause Angelo to skip his next action. John throws Red Power Rush. This is a card I remember from the olden days. It's going to go ahead and raise John's anger 1. As long as anger is 3 or above, it cannot be stopped by physical combat cards. It is going to connect and do a smidge of damage to Angelo. Okay, Angelo's going to go ahead and throw Rising Punch. You remember, if John changes levels now in this combat, Angelo gets to draw a card. It's going to go ahead and connect for a very small amount of damage, 4 stages. Then he goes back over to John. John passes. He's carrying 2 energy blocks, and that's about it. So Angelo has to be very careful about how he does this. He's going to go ahead and Crying Drill. He's going to go ahead and shuffle it in for its effect. Like we said, as an action, you can shuffle it in and gain 3 stages. Angelo's going to need those power stages. He's got a couple of energy attacks that can be very effective. Okay. Angelo now has the stages necessary, and John, like we said, no longer has a power on Broly's level 1. It's as if it were a blank box.
I was about to say, slow dancing with the big lady.
Okay, Angelo uses up the 3 power stages he gained to go ahead and throw in a Rage Blast. John does stop it with the effect of Red Tilt. John passes. He goes back over to Angelo. Angelo's still carrying, I want to say, oh wow, he's going to go ahead and Mastery. In this case, his drills are going to go ahead and get shuffled in. He did use the Mastery to level, so he gets the opportunity to go ahead and pull that out, since he did change levels this combat and did it with the effect of the Mastery.
That's life fighting Broly. I'm not used to anything less than...
I'm just commenting about how it's strange not to see Broly just stomping everybody out. And then goes and pulls out Disaster Drill. He goes back over to Angelo. He has another action. He's going to go ahead and Red Launcher, and he's going to go ahead. Red Launcher, Orange Launcher. He's going to go ahead and crit John's anger down 1, and it's a 3-life card physical. John ends up taking the whole 3 damage, and Durham showed up a little late to the party. John passes his action again. Like we said, Angelo has plenty of power stages to do what he wants to do now. Very little chance of getting any kind of reprisal from John. He uses Gohan's physical. It's a 6-life card physical. It does have endurance because John didn't get to use his power at all. Okay, Angelo fires off another Rage Blast. And John lost 2 anger from the effect of Gohan's power and 1 anger. He's going to go ahead and raise his anger with the effect of Red Energy Deflection. Yeah, Orange Charge Kick, go ahead and level to level 3. Amazing. No targets, of course, for the drill, or rather, there are targets. Angelo chooses not to target. He does not destroy those drills. He's going to go ahead and shuffle his Orange Disaster Drill into his deck. He is level 3 Gohan. For this one, he basically punishes you for using your power. If you use your power, he's going to attack you twice. And Charge Kick is going to do a little bit of life card damage because Broly was already on power stages.
Hits you a little hard there.
Okay, both men's hands are empty, so we'll see what happens from here. We'll get to a 5-life card physical. That runs into a fairly decent amount of endurance and takes the 5 life cards with using just 2.
You didn't use your power. No, you turned it off, remember?
Also, level 3 Gohan's power is mirror physical attack and lets you rejuvenate 2 cards. Goes back over to John. John's got some good stuff. He puts a Red Destiny into play, always a must. High damage decks find them just really unbeatable. John should probably hold on to the energy, though that's kind of a rough one just to guarantee you're going to get to use it. He is going to go ahead and pass, rejuvenate Red Sword Stab. And then it's going to go back over to Angelo. He's going to draw his 3 to begin his turn. Looks like he's drawing some drills.
No, she went with me to church today, but not here. She doesn't feel like going out twice.
Yeah, Angelo doesn't like what he sees. He's going to go rejuvenate Backlash. Yeah, back over to John. He's got Red Power Rush. Got some different, say 2 energy attacks.
It's 1978. I have a big beard with tiny
So the thing is here, John has a fairly impressive hand as far as what he can do here. The hard part is holding on to enough power stages to make it all possible.
Yeah.
He probably could actually go ahead and Mastery and then throw one of the other cards into level. forcing Angelo to skip his 2 actions.
So I was opposed to either.
We call that trouble with squats by then.
Don't mind us, we're just talking about silly stuff in the background there.
I didn't know that. It was so funny.
I'm still pondering it. Like we said, the hard part is catching Angelo and being able to keep his power stages long enough to actually get to throw those attacks, being that he has no blocks.
That's why this was so funny. Dang it.
It's going to be playing Z again with somebody I enjoy.
Yeah, you.
Enjoy these Gohans.
Isn't it the funniest thing? You just imagine, like, I'm gonna ride this all the way to the top. But I'm glad to know that we can have the most intense, drawn out back and forth. I can't stop.
But it's like, to beat Piccolo, I had to go Super Saiyan.
Oh yeah, full on Super Saiyan. Oh shoot!
Oh yeah, I should probably mention we slightly played this one slightly out of, what do they call that? Slightly out of order. This was actually one of our later fights that particular evening that we had this. So me and Angelo already had some intense battles between him and future Gohan and Piccolo. Okay, John does declare combat. He's going to go ahead and fire off an energy attack that unfortunately Angelo does not have an answer to, except for a little bit of endurance there. And it does force Angelo to skip. John squeezed out, so he got 3 actions. He fired off that energy attack, forced Angelo to skip. Mastery, forced Angelo to skip, and then he gets a 3rd action in a row. John activates good old Red Destiny, raising his anger 2 levels. And remember, for the remainder of combat, he has -2/-2 to all damage. By the way, we're aware that Red Destiny has been used and should be in the Vanish Zone. We place it there just as a reminder because we've ruined and upended entire games because we dumbly didn't remember the minuses in play. Okay, finally Angelo has an action. He's going to go ahead and throw a red charge kick. He is going to go ahead and destroy Burning Aura. And of course, we talked about this. John did not have a block in his hand during the whole course of this event. He's going to go ahead and hit John. John's going to take his stage damage. It's going to go back over to John. And he has lots of options. He's got Red Power Rush that could put it into that unstoppable state. Okay, so he does have the one that this can no longer be stopped with physical combat cards. You go for Red Power Rush, raises anger to 3.
I'm an F, so
5 power stages total.
3, right? Because I'm an F.
Remember that level 3 Gohan doesn't turn off your powers like level 1 does. It just makes it so if you try to use a non-continuous power, it will make his physical attack be used twice in that combat. It's pretty rough. And we're going to see what Angelo's going to respond with. He is going to go ahead and respond with the Retribution Mastery's effect to raise anger 2 levels. John's stages are still intact from before. We were wondering about if he could keep them intact with Angelo's attacks being what they are.
You just think it's a Batman inspirational workout mix.
Nice.
And it's awesome.
So John's got some opportunities in his hands. Potentially, I can see Angelo's holding just some physical block, or at least 1 physical block. Okay, it is going to go ahead and connect. John's going to go ahead and rejuvenate 2 life cards, not too terrible. Then it goes back over to Ange. Ange takes the damage, wicks a little bit off with endurance. Okay, he throws Gohan's physical. It's going to go ahead and rejuvenate 2 life cards automatically. Now, John did not use his level 2 power at all during this combat, so that's why it didn't trigger the level 3 Gohan's power to go off twice. Okay, John's going to go ahead and throw the first use of Red Double Strike, which is going to auto-level Broly. It's going to hit 5, no problem. Okay. John's going to go ahead and, Angel's going to go ahead and stop it with the orange block that's going to go ahead and summon a drill. I did not see that coming when I was watching this match live. He's going to go ahead and pull out Possession Drill. Because like I said, he does have a drill to ditch in his hand, so it's going to be very effective. Okay, back over to John. Oh, actually use the effect of good old Possession Drill, and now he's going to go ahead and attack. He's going to go attack him F to C. This, of course, Broly does have, of course, the damage buff, which, of course, he does. Angelo's going to be knocked to 0 and taking very mild amount of damage. Now remember that quite a while ago, Angelo activated... Oh no, he's going to go ahead and use Gohan's Power Punch, I should say. It's going to go ahead and level him, and is going to be an unstoppable +5 stage physical. Angelo is legitimately level 4, didn't have to use any backlash or anything to get here. That's something we discovered across a little bit of our playtime, is we figured out that the Gohan name cards are actually infinitely more usable and synergizing with the the MP than they ever really did before. Oh, I was actually just calling out something right there. You guys remember, somebody might say, hey, how come Future Gohan wasn't 3 above 0 when he transformed against level 3 Broly? Well, just remember that we had to resolve all the immediate effects first. The immediate effects actually leveled Gohan. We resolve it, he goes to level 4, and his power goes into effect immediately, which would have canceled out Broly's level 3 power to lower stages. Oh, also, Angelo's going to go ahead and fire a for free Orange Rage. You remember, like we said, that one's going to go ahead and be free because he fired off the Mastery quite some time ago. So just be aware there was no misplays there with Gohan and Broly. Okay, combat ends. John gets to raise his anger 1 level with the static effect of good old Red Ascension Mastery. It goes over to Angelo. Remember, he has been holding on to that one drill card in his hand for kind of a while. He's going to put the Aura Drill in play. He's going to pass Rejuvenate and Physical Block. That's kind of interesting, I suppose. I guess Angelo's not be worried about damage. He's just going to try to run for MPVB. And John powers up. He is, like we said, level 3 Broly. And he has no powers, according to level 4 Gohan.
Yeah, when I start kind of deathless now. So I've never in Pansy of only made
John's weighing out all of his options just to see where he knows where everything's at. This is something, like we said, the zones for discard and banish are always public knowledge. So if you want to look them over and just get a feel for what your deck might contain in it, what might be left in there. It's a real good habit to get into. Looks like Ange's holding on to a shoulder slam, by the way. That rat. Okay, John's going to go ahead and pass, Rejuvenate. He's going to hold on to 1 card. Goes back over to Ange. He's got some nice looking stuff in his hand. He got basically an instant MPPV where he can just keep lowering John 3 anger at a time with the shoulder slams in his home. Okay, Ange goes into combat. Oh, I just realized that Angelo didn't level himself back down, or did he? Yeah, he leveled himself back down at the end of that combat. I just had to make sure. Okay, he's going to go and fire off the Orange Eruption. It would be a total of 4 life cards in general. If I was John, no crit potential, I'd just take the hit. Hold on to the block for something a little more efficient. But if he's got a red tilt, I'd probably go ahead and red tilt. No, he doesn't have it. Just like you said, I would have done the same thing because, so help me, if it has no crit potential, then you can spare the life card damage, so you can hold on to it for better potential attacks. So John's going to go ahead and throw the red energy from the new set. That's going to go ahead and automatically hit Angelo for 4 altogether, or 3 altogether. And is going to go ahead and force Angelo to go ahead and skip his next action. It goes back over to John. John's holding another one of those. If you really wanted to, if there was some way to make this all work better, I would probably almost even just Mastery and then go into again and get all my actions off before Angelo even had a chance to move. We're getting there, though. So like we said, John's got several different offensive options. He just has to choose what would be the most beneficial order. And admittedly, there's a lot of variables here. He has, however, seen that an energy attack was landed on Angelo, so he knows that there's probably not... Okay, John's going to do exactly what I said, thought he was going to do. He read Ascensions, it is red. He raises anger 2 levels, it forces Angelo to go ahead and skip. If I was him, I'd go ahead and throw the energy again. Okay, so there's red sneaky attack.
AT +5. Yep. I'm going to have
Wow, hits him with AT plus 5 physical because of the buff from level 3 Broly. And it's going to go ahead and hit him pretty hard. He's going to go ahead and fire off another orange eruption. He's going to go ahead and lower John's anger to 0 again. Going to be 4 life cards again. If John chooses not to stop it, he wants to hold on to the other energy block. This is an entirely too tough a question. He is going to go ahead and just take the damage and tough it out. I said the no critical damage potential is actually what drives that kind of decision. And he goes back over to John. John still has that 1 card to force and to skip, which I would have kept throwing, like you said. Try to find a way to damage him out or get enough actions in.
You best skip.
4 life, 3 life.
Yeah, he hits Angelo with another energy attack, like you said. Angelo doesn't draw any blocks. He hits him for 3 life cards altogether because of the minus on this particular level of Gohan. Angelo's going to go ahead and shoulder slam, hits him for a doozy. He is going to shoot to level 4, and his aura drill is going to go ahead and go away.
So 6 stages and 2 life Ascension.
That's not too bad. Shoulder slam for 6. Usually you want to be something outrageous, but in a lot of cases, especially between 2 powerhouses, it isn't that big a hit. But one has probably deduced just how ineffective Broly is minus his MP powers. And he's going to go ahead and mastery for 2 anger, and he has changed levels of his combat, so he gets the benefit of mastery. He's going to go ahead and he's going to grab he's going to grab a corresponding drill.
Super close. Can't win out.
Okay, as I was saying, he probably couldn't get enough anger together on such short notice to be able to MPPV this combat. He is, however, going to go ahead and grab Orange Refocus, which means, like we said, at the end of this combat, he's basically going to have to go back down to level 3 because Gohan can't stay on level 4 for very long. Okay, he throws Gohan's power. John has no more cards to discard. Well, actually, no, he had the energy block to discard. Banishes the bottom 2 of his discard pile. He's going to go ahead and throw it pretty significant AT and 2 life, and I think John might be damaged out. He might simply be either kill it outright, or he may not have enough to actually survive the transition to a new turn. Wow. It's like 13 power stages total damage with the life cards. And unfortunately, this one is over, fellas. See, the combat ends, he rejuvenates, and John draws out. Trust me, there's more to come. This is Gohan's game now.